we have Sydney.
Hello, me lord.
Hey Sid, how you doing?
I'm doing great. How the hell are you, James?
I'm coming to you live.
We're coming to you live, baby.
Yeah, so we haven't really done this before, but we figured since we're doing these instant reactions to A Night of the Seven Kingdoms TV show, that we would try something new and maybe just try this whole live thing out. So we're working through it. There might be a few bumps along the way, but we wanted to make sure to get this episode out as soon as possible. So
We'll be number one first.
yeah,
First, truly instant live reaction. We just watched it.
very instant. No, no time to think about the episode. No time to understand what the
Rewatch it.
words were or who was saying what. But yeah, we just wanted to come on and give our instant takes. Normally, we are covering TV shows like Fallout, or we're covering movies. But we really wanted to cover this TV show, and since it comes on Sunday nights, we figured let's just get on Sunday night and see if we can talk about it for a little bit before the rest of the world does. So, with that in mind, what did you think about this episode, Sid? I have a few notes. I have a few things I want to say, but what did you think?
I am loving it. I'm so excited for this series. I finished season 1 of Game of Thrones, by the way.
Wow. Okay.
So that was a wild ride, but the first scenes of this episode are crazy. They're crazy. I hope they keep coming out with crazy first scenes. But what did you think about it?
I thought it was great. I feel like we have to talk about Game of Thrones season 1 at some point during this conversation, but maybe let's save it towards the end and we can put it behind, talking about
Yeah,
spoilers for sure.
we'll touch on it later.
Yeah, because I wanted to really find out what you thought of it. But yeah, speaking of opening scenes, um, this show is 2 for 2 right now because this is episode 2. First episode, we see someone just taking a massive shit. Second
Yes.
episode, the very first thing we see is this old man's giant hog. And
I
just,
mean, whoa. Good for you.
dude, he is still slanging that D. Even with
Mhm.
a giant like cut on his arm, which I'm
He was
guessing that's how he
literally
died.
dying.
Yeah,
Literally dying and still just laying it down.
for real. Yeah, like that was a really funny first opening. Um,
I
this
noticed
is
there was not a Game of Thrones theme song this episode. So there was no harsh cut to his giant dong. What
no, they just threw it in there
no
with no
warning.
music, no warning. Um, but yeah, I guess they're not going to do that whole Game of Thrones opening, so it's a different show, so different opening, I guess. I figured they were going to do something, but
Mhm.
no, it wasn't much. But I liked the episode a lot. I thought it was uh, you know, it's kind of hard to follow a little bit because it's not all the same people from Game of Thrones, and I've not read the books, so I'm coming in as like just a TV show watcher for this, and it was just really cool to see the whole thing kind of like come together, where you see him really struggling trying to get this whole thing figured out so he can actually be in the tournament, and to see all of that really happen was cool. He was hustling, man. He was
I
straight up hustling.
I feel so bad for him. Everyone treats him like an idiot.
Everyone just assumes he's an idiot, right?
Yeah, when they're like, he used to call me as thick as a castle wall. Like, oh my god, that is such a sick burn. Uh, but the tournament scenes I am so excited for. I think we should bring back jousting over sports any day.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think, like, in this show, we're gonna get a lot of it, like, way more than in Game of Thrones, because I think in Game of Thrones, there wasn't a whole lot of it, but, there was a few tournaments and jousts and things, but it was mostly, like, battles, and I feel like this story is really based around this tournament.
It's
So,
much easier to digest, like, just more straightforward, I think, than Game of Thrones. I wonder if the books are as, like, humorous and comical as the show is turning out to be. I know I am definitely going to read the book with how much I'm loving it so far.
I think I heard it was. I heard it's really light compared to Game of Thrones, and even, like, the amount of pages, and they have, like, big pictures in the book also, so I think it's just a lot easier of a read. Probably more comedy in there too. Um, but yeah, speaking of comedy, there was some really good lines in there, like, someone was saying, "Is this a proper place to shit around here?" And, you know, just the way everyone talks to each other, especially the way people talk to Dunk, is comedy, you know?
Egg sure does have a mouth on him.
Yeah.
I
Yeah, he
really
does.
like their dynamic. They're really cute together.
Yeah, he doesn't really care about what he says or who he's talking to, or, he's got so much spunk.
He's a
Um,
good wingman too when he was flirting
yes.
with the painter and the performer.
That's
I
exactly what I wrote down is Egg is a good wingman. He's a natural born
Mhm.
wingman.
True dat. He
Yeah.
really has his back.
But it did seem like he was getting a little nervous. Did you catch up, or did you catch that, where as the tournament was going and the squires are doing their thing, he's, I think, envisioning himself out there like, "Wait, how am I gonna do all this?" Like, "Yo, that
That's
looks gnarly."
it seemed like he really had fear in his eyes and that he was kind of having some flashbacks too to his I I don't know where his parents are or who that man how he ended up with his caretaker that man the knight. I'm really curious to see cuz we don't know that. We're not supposed to know that yet, right?
You're talking about Egg, or are you talking about Duncan?
Dunk's parents.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think they really said that in the show yet. I could have missed it.
Okay. I
Like,
don't
maybe it
think
was
so
just
either.
a passing line or something, but yeah, I don't know. But it did seem like he really looked at, that night as like a father figure, you
Mhm.
know? Especially towards the end of the episode where he's talking about, like, him never winning a tournament, never being a champion, but now Dunk is gonna try to carry that torch and, be his legacy for him. So, he thought very highly of him, and it seemed like he was raising him since he was a kid, the way he was, like, slapping him
Mhm.
upside the head in so many of those flashbacks from the last episode.
Did you catch in the recap before the episode even started that the knight got, like, speared in his stomach? Did
Yeah, yeah.
I thought it was Dunk that killed him at first.
Oh, no, I think that was okay, so in the last episode, he was trying to talk to the redhead guy with the chicks, and he was saying, "Hey, don't you remember, my, uh this night he served your family, he served your house. He even took a spear for you."
Oh, yeah.
And
Okay.
then it flashed back to that of him, like, he took a spear. So I think that's what that was, but he survived and got better and everything, and then eventually, I think, died from that gash on his arm.
The giant wound.
Yeah, which it didn't even look that bad. I mean, it looked bad, but obviously it was something that was getting worse. You can see it, like, in the later scene when he's on his horse. He it looked like it was infected for sure.
I mean, during that time, there was really no way to heal it or any antibiotics, just like
Mm-mm.
in Game of Thrones when he got cut with Khaleesi's husband,
Mhm.
Aquaman. What was his name?
Yeah. Um, oh my gosh.
I should know. I just finished, but
Yeah. No, I know I cannot remember his name. Drago? No.
something like that.
Yeah,
Something.
something. We can call him
Let us know
Aquaman.
in the comments. Let us know in the
I
comments.
can't even remember
I'm
his real name.
People are screaming at the screen right now.
But yeah, that was, yeah, so he took for for that other guy's house or whatever, and so that's why Dunk is so offended that no one remembers him because he seemed like he was a good knight, you know?
Yeah. I mean, I'm
Wasn't
sure he's
slinging
gonna
D.
show him. He's gonna show him and be his legacy.
Mhm. What'd you think of the puppet show?
I think that is so cool. Such a cool concept to I was even wanted to ask you, like, what do you think your role would have been back in those times? Like, I feel like I would have been a gesture or maybe even the village whore or
I would be
no,
the village whore
no,
for sure. Yeah.
or a swordsmith. I think that is so cool.
Yeah, I don't even know, man. Probably a pickpocket, you know?
Hell yeah.
But I think, like, it's kind of just interesting to think about this time because if you weren't born into the right family, you had no chance. Like, you weren't doing much.
Kind of screwed.
That's it, you know? And I think they even brought that up where, like, he thought that that night that was part of the King's Guard, he thought, "Oh, he must have started out as, like, a lowly crab fisher's son and then worked his way up." But no, it turns out his family, like, owned a whole bunch of ships and, like, was, like, a major, rich family, um, and so, of course, that makes more sense. It wasn't like a rags to riches kinda thing. It was just riches to riches.
Hmm.
So, it really kinda just says, like, that's what this world is about, and it feels kind of hopeless for Dunk to try to make a name for himself because he doesn't have one already.
That and I had in my notes too his interaction with the white-haired knight who he thought Dunk was just a servant or some
Mhm.
peasant, "Go get me some wine." I'm sure there's gonna be more interaction with them later, but I was like, "You white-haired bitch, how dare you? How dare you?"
Yeah, you're gonna learn more about the white-haired bitches soon because they become, uh they become, like, more of a major, part of the story in Game of Thrones.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Which, by the way, I mean, if you're watching this and you have not seen Game of Thrones, let's just say we're gonna spoil season 1 right now. So,
Big time.
if you haven't seen it, you might wanna pause, go watch it, and then come back. But,
Yes.
Sid, I gotta ask you, what did you think of season 1? Because, I mean, there was a big episode towards the end there that I was wondering how just walk me through how you thought of it. Did you expect it? It was kind of a big deal.
I did not expect that at all. My jaw was on the floor. I was on day 3 of Game of Thrones. I
Yeah.
hadn't washed my hair or changed. I was just sitting at the TV and then okay, big spoiler here, like for real, the
Yes,
end
big
of
spoiler.
season 1. Warning, warning. When she was going to sacrifice herself and the witch woman that kind of scammed her and killed the husband. He was just like in this limbo state. And then she emerges from the ashes with the hatched dragons. My jaw, I was shook.
Yeah.
Shook. I mean, I knew obviously she's in the uh future season, so I was just wondering how she was going to get out of that one. And I'm so excited to see the dragons. Like I love the dragon aspect of the show. I can't wait to see how that comes about.
Yeah. And what was so cool about that story is, dragons were kind of like a thing of the past. It was like old magic that, didn't really happen anymore. And so when those dragons hatched, it was a really big deal. What did you think of um, Ned Stark getting decapitated? Did you expect
That
that?
was gut wrenching. I guess I blocked it out. Dude, that was so sad. I mean, from remember I was like, "Oh, that little bitch ass prince," and now
Yeah,
he's more than ever. Joffrey sucks so bad. I mean, I can't believe like you were saying, if you're born into the right family, this little kid is gonna have the power to decapitate your dad and making her watch or see his decapitated head on the wall. I mean, traumatizing for life.
dude.
Traumatized.
I mean, that's like his girlfriend or whatever. Like that's his. They're supposed to get married, and he just kills her dad.
It's a princess
Yeah,
or soon, the
yeah.
next queen.
Well, okay, so I mean that kind of shows you what you're in for as far as this show. I feel like the show really got a name for itself because like no one is safe, dude. Like you think it's gonna zig, but it zags, and you think, oh well, normally this person would not die because they're the hero of the story, but nope, nobody's safe,
Yeah,
and
really
that's
did not expect him to die or Draco to die. Um, there was a lot of twists
a
again. So
lot.
I'm a brand new Game of Thrones fan
Yep,
here.
sweet summer child.
Sweet, sweet summer child. the
Cannot
wi-
wait for you to watch the rest of it.
the winter is coming though.
Exactly. Okay, so to get back to this episode, was there anything else you wanted to say about Night of the Seven Kingdoms? I mean, I had a couple of other things, which is like, tug of war never seems to get old. The game is just fun, especially with Egg
Absolutely.
on the holding onto the rope, and that was just a good time.
Mhm. For sure. I had
Yeah.
a random question kind of.
Yeah.
Have you ever worked with horses or rode a horse or anything?
I rode a horse once when I was a kid. I did get bucked off. It was like a family horse, and my grandparents had horses. And so I didn't ride a horse that often, but I did have them in my notes. Like, man, Dunk really does have a way with horses. Um,
Mhm.
but no, I really don't have a lot of experience with them. What about you?
Yeah, I feel like people either love or hate horses, so that's kind of why I was asking in that touching scene when he had to sell the white horse for the armor. But yeah, I grew up on a kind of a some land in Sunnyvale. We had horses and I would ride them all the time and train them and everything. And as you know, I went to interview at medieval times to be to take care of the horses, not to get close to the Green Knight at all. Yeah, to take care of the horses for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, I do. I love horses and they're kind of the star of the show. a big aspect of the show.
Yeah, that was really sad actually whenever he had to sell that horse and, he gave a little bit money back just so that the horse can have some oats and an apple.
Mm, I
But
know.
yeah,
Did you know they love candy? They'll eat like peppermints and fruit roll ups and little gummy candy. They love it.
and they can have it?
Sometimes,
Okay.
just as a treat. Sometimes it's funny to see them eat a fruit roll up. You like
Yeah.
open it and they'll like with their big lips just.
Yeah. Um, no, I didn't know you could feed them all that. I knew you could give them peanut butter because, like, the Mr. Ed TV show, I think that's what they did is gave him peanut butter so he could pretend to talk or whatever, but
Yeah.
or it looks like he was talking. But, yeah, the horses were cool. I think he has, what, 2 horses left now?
Oh, I thought he sold two of the three. Not
Oh,
sure.
maybe. I thought he just sold 1, but I could be wrong. But either
But
way, it was sad. He had to get rid of at least one of them.
I know. But I love
Maybe.
the ending. I love the ending too of them by the fire. That's how they ended it with the last episode, the first episode.
Mhm.
So I hope they continue to open with a wild ass scene and close with him and Egg by the fire. That's really cute.
Yeah, I don't know how they're gonna top the opening scene for episode 3
I know.
or with episode 3, but yeah, it was nice to kind of just end the episode with them back at their fireplace, back at the camp, and um, it seemed like they are gonna build each other up, you know, where Egg feels maybe he's not gonna be as good of a squire. I think, Dunk is gonna help him with that, and vice versa. And Egg obviously knows a lot of stuff about being a knight, so hopefully that comes in handy for Dunk. And I think they're going to make a really good team.
For sure. They're gonna be good for each other,
Yeah.
even though they're totally opposite. Peter Claffey is really 6'5", by the way. He's like almost 7 feet tall.
Hmm.
Super
Yeah.
tall.
And I think the kid that plays Egg is really close to that age. Like he might be like 11 or something.
Hmm.
Um, so a lot of times they'll get like an older kid to play a younger kid, but he's actually very young. So really good actor for being that young. But yeah,
That's a
I'm
good
excited to
pick.
watch more. I can't believe they're only like 30-40 minute episodes. It went by so fast.
I know. I can't get enough. Come on, next Sunday. Come on.
Well, we'll be back next Sunday and we'll be able to give some more of our instant reactions. Do you have any more? Anything else you want to say about the episode?
No, man. Thanks for hopping on. Thanks for chatting. That was super fun. Again, we're Cinema so far. Please like and subscribe. Check out Fallout. We cover that every Thursday. And we hope to see you next week. And let us know in the comments anything that you liked about this episode and what you're excited to see next. And that's a wrap on this week's episode of Cinema
Cinema
So
so
Far.
far. Nailed
Goodbye,
it.
me lord.